He didn't know he was a father until he saw himself in a 5-year-old's face. Ethan opened the wrong door. He didn't realize it at first until the silence inside felt familiar. 2 boys sat on the carpet drawing dinosaurs. One looked up, green eyes, same jawline, same confusion. Ethan stared. His fingers tightened around the doorknob. Then, "Ethan!" He turned. Monica stood by the bathroom door, frozen, hair damp, expression sharp as glass. He whispered, "What is this?" She didn't speak. He pointed at the boys. "Monica, who are they?" One of the twins tilted his head. "Mom, why does that man look like me?" Ethan took a step back, everything around him blurred. Same eyes, same mouth, same heartbeat now racing in his ears. A mistake, a door, a decade undone in seconds. Monica blinked. The room disappeared. She was 23 again, standing in the hallway with a suitcase in hand. Ethan stood at the door, dressed in a suit, phone buzzing in his palm. "You know I have to take this job," he said. No apology, just fact. She didn't cry, not yet. "I'm pregnant, Ethan." He froze, but only for a second. "We'll talk, later." He never looked back. The door closed. The hallway echoed. Back in the present, Monica's jaw tightened. Her hand gripped the towel. Her chest rose and fell fast. Ethan stood inches away, still unsure. She looked at him like he was a ghost, one that left too clean, too early. "You don't get to act surprised," she said quietly. The boys kept drawing, unaware that the air between their mother and that man had just cracked open something buried deep. The lights were too bright, the room too cold. Monica gripped the edge of the hospital bed, breath shallow. No one waited outside, no hand to hold. A nurse asked, "Do you have someone we can call?" She shook her head. Pain cut through her body again. Strong, final, then cries. 2 of them. The nurse smiled. "Twins." Monica didn't smile back. They placed the babies on her chest, tiny fists, warm skin, 2 hearts pounding against hers. Tears slid down her face, not from pain, but from the weight of it all. She whispered, "Hi, I'm here." No flowers, no congratulations, just a ceiling stained with years, and 2 lives looking for their beginning. The nurse handed her a form. Father's name? Monica paused. Her pen hovered. Then slowly she left the line blank. Monica cleaned offices at dawn, served tables by noon, and folded clothes at night. She slept 4 hours, sometimes less, but Liam and Caleb always had warm lunches, a bedtime story, a kiss before sleep. On their 5th birthday, she couldn't afford a cake, so she stacked pancakes, lit 2 candles from the drawer, and sang loud so they wouldn't notice the tears in her throat. They clapped like it was magic. After they slept, she sat by the sink, counting coins for rent. Her hands smelled like detergent. Still, she whispered to herself, "They're happy. That's enough." At school, teachers said the twins were kind, focused, brave. No one knew what it kind did. No one saw her hold back tears when they asked, "Mom, will we ever meet Dad?" She always smiled, always answered the same way. "Maybe one day, but you already have the best parts of him." Ethan stood in a glass office, 30 floors above the city. He had the title, the corner view, his name on magazines, but most nights he slept on the couch. Takeout boxes stacked near the desk. No calls from home, no photos on his wall, only one creased, hidden in a drawer. Monica, years ago, smiling at something he'd already forgotten. His assistant knocked. "Meeting in 10, sir." He nodded, eyes still on the photo. The board praised him. Investors followed him. But when the room emptied, silence stayed. He stared at his reflection in the window. Success had come. So had loneliness. No one waited when he landed. No one asked how his day was. Just contracts, just screens, just him. He touched the photo once more, then closed the drawer, and went back to work. Ethan scrolled through the guest list for the leadership summit. A few names stood out. One made him stop. Monica Reed. He blinked, read it again. Same spelling, same initials, but it couldn't be her. Common name, he told himself, just a coincidence. Still, his hand hesitated before swiping to the next page. For a second, he pictured her, dark hair, steady eyes, the laugh that used to catch him off guard. That was years ago. She had moved on, probably married, maybe even left the country. He closed the tablet and leaned back. Why did his chest feel tight? It was nothing. He told himself again. Just a name. Just a ship. Just 3 days. Then he'd be back to boardrooms and deals. Alone but focused. He didn't know. She was just 2 floors below. Monica stepped between Ethan and the boys. Her voice was low, sharp. "You need to leave." Ethan raised his hands, unsure. I didn't mean to. You already did. Her eyes burned. Years ago. Footsteps padded across the carpet. Liam peeked from behind the couch. Caleb followed. Mom? They looked at Ethan, then at her, confused. Monica turned, kneeling beside them. It's okay. Go play in the other room. But who is he? Caleb asked. She didn't answer. Ethan took a step forward. Monica, please. No, her voice cracked. Not here, not in front of them. The boys hesitated, then disappeared down the hall, glancing back once. Monica stood tall, arms crossed. You lost the right to ask questions. Ethan nodded slowly. I'll go. She opened the door without a word, and this time he left without slamming it. Ethan stood just outside the door. He turned back. They can't be mine, he said. You would have told me. Monica froze. Her shoulders stiffened. She didn't look at him. I tried, she whispered. Ethan shook his head. I never got anything. No call, no message. Her voice rose. Because you disappeared, Ethan. You walked out and never looked back. Silence. Then she laughed. Short, bitter. You think I wanted this? Raising twins alone, lying to them every time they asked where their father was? Her face crumpled. The tears came fast, too fast to stop. I waited for months. I hoped you'd come back. He said nothing. She wiped her face with her sleeve, hands shaking. But you never did, so I stopped waiting. Ethan lowered his eyes. Monica's next words landed hard. Don't act like you were never told. You just weren't listening. 2 doors down, someone had seen it all. A man in a Hawaiian shirt stood in the hallway, phone in hand. Camera quietly rolling, voices sharp, tears raw. He didn't know who they were. But the scene was too real to ignore. That night, the clip hit social media. Millionaire CEO argues with woman and kids on cruise? The comments came fast. Is that Ethan Cross? Those kids look just like him. Scandal on deck? By morning, the video had over 1 million views. News blogs picked it up. Mystery woman, 2 children, 1 powerful man. On the ship, whispers followed Monica in the dining hall. Eyes lingered. Phones lifted. She pulled Liam and Caleb closer, tighter. Ethan saw the video on his phone. He didn't press play. He already knew what it looked like. And now, so did the world. Monica stepped out of the elevator with Liam and Caleb at her sides. Cameras clicked before her feet hit the carpet. Monica! Is Ethan Cross the father? Did he abandon you? Are the kids his? She tightened her grip on their hands. No comment, she said, at eyes forward. Flashes blinded them. Caleb winced. Liam pulled closer. Someone shouted, Are you after his money? That one stung. She stopped walking, turned, voice calm but firm. We're not a story. We're a family. Back off. Security arrived seconds too late. In their cabin, Monica closed the curtains, locked the door. The boys sat on the bed, quiet. She knelt beside them, voice soft. You're safe. That's all that matters. But outside, the noise kept growing. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She turned it face down. Not today. Ethan sat in the conference room, sleeves rolled, phone buzzing non-stop. A partner's voice cut through. This story's bad for business. Ethan stayed silent. The man leaned in. You've got a $200 million deal on the line. Investors want stability, not scandal. Another voice added, Walk away from the drama, or the deal walks from you. Ethan nodded but didn't respond. After the call, he stared at the table. His reflection looked tired, smaller. He opened his inbox. Headlines filled the screen. Father or fraud? CEO Cross caught off guard. His thumb hovered over Monica's contact. He didn't call. Instead, he walked to the window. 2 kids, a woman he left, and a life he never faced. Behind him, another message lit up. Decision needed today. He didn't answer, not yet. Ethan stood outside the security office, arms crossed. I need someone discreet, he said. No uniforms, no questions. The head of security nodded. Who? Monica Reed, 2 boys. Keep distance, but make sure they're safe. A small envelope changed hands. No contract tracks, just a name and a cabin number. Later that day, Monica found a folded note slipped under her door. If anyone approaches you or the boys, call this number. No name, just a number. She looked around, uneasy. Through the hallway camera, Ethan watched her reaction. No smile, no fear, just guarded. He didn't want her thanks. He only wanted to be useful, for once. Back in his cabin, he stared at his phone again. He still couldn't press call, but he could protect her, from the distance she'd built, from the noise he helped create. Ethan stood on the upper deck, suitcase by his side. The private chopper waited, engines low, ready. One more night and it would all disappear behind him. He reached into his coat, pulled out a folded drawing, crumpled at the edges. 2 stick figures, both smiling, one taller, holding hands with the smaller ones. Liam and Caleb had signed their names in big letters. No one told him they drew it. He found it left behind in the hallway. He looked out over the water, quiet, still. His assistant called. "Sir, the helicopter's ready." Ethan stared at the sketch one more time, then turned around. "No," he said. "Tell them I'm not leaving." He walked back into the ship, suitcase untouched. That night, for the first time in years, he didn't dream of meetings or numbers. He dreamed of 2 small voices calling his name. Monica knocked on the clinic door, breath shallow. Liam burned with fever. His skin was hot, eyes half closed. The hallway was empty, no staff in sight. She turned, heart racing. Ethan appeared. No words, just took one look, then lifted Liam into his arms. "Come with me," he said. They moved fast down the corridor. Monica followed, silent. Liam moaned softly. His head rested on Ethan's chest. The medical team rushed in when they arrived. Monica answered questions. Ethan stood by, not speaking, not leaving. 30 minutes passed. The fever dropped. Caleb curled beside Monica in the waiting chair. Ethan stayed on his feet. He didn't ask for thanks, didn't look for praise. He just watched Liam sleep. For the first time, Ethan didn't feel like an outsider, just someone who showed up when it mattered. Ethan stepped off the elevator into a wall of cameras. Reporters swarmed, voices overlapping. "Mr. Cross, are those children yours? Is this your secret family? Why won't you comment?" He paused, just for a second, then kept walking. Flashes lit his face. He didn't flinch, but he didn't speak either. One reporter pushed forward. "Do you deny they're your sons?" Ethan stopped, eyes fixed ahead. "I have nothing to say right now." He stepped into his suite, closed the door, exhaled. In the mirror, he looked older. He washed his hands, slowly, as if trying to remove something he couldn't name. His phone buzzed again. Another headline. Silence from Cross. Guilt or strategy? He turned the screen over. Let it ring. The truth sat heavy in his chest, but he still wasn't ready to carry it out loud. Not yet. Ethan stood behind the podium, eyes scanning the press room. Flashes sparked. Microphones pointed. No room for silence now. He cleared his throat. "I've seen the photos. I've read the headlines." He paused. "If those boys are mine, I take full responsibility." The room stirred. Fingers hit keyboards. Cameras zoomed in. "I walked away once. I won't do it again." He stepped back. No follow-up, no rehearsed answers. Outside, Monica watched the live stream on her phone. Caleb leaned on her shoulder. Liam sat cross-legged on the floor. She said nothing, just listened. On screen, Ethan left the stage, head down, quiet. No PR team behind him, just a man trying to fix what he broke. Not with excuses, but with truth. Monica opened the clinic door quietly. Inside, the lights were dim. The nurse had stepped out. Ethan sat in the corner chair, asleep. Caleb lay curled beside him. Liam rested against his chest, arms wrapped around his shirt. His hand stayed on Liam's back, steady, instinctive. Monica froze. She hadn't seen that before, not in years, not ever. Part of her wanted to pull them apart, to remind herself he hadn't earned this. But the room was quiet. The boys looked safe. At peace. She leaned against the wall, arms crossed tight. She remembered nights alone. Carrying 2 crying babies, wishing for help that never came. Now he was here, late, uninvited, but here, something in her cracked but didn't fall. She looked at Ethan, still asleep, still holding their son. Her breath caught. And for the first time, she didn't know what to feel. The box was waiting outside their cabin. No note, no name. Inside, 2 matching sketchbooks, new markers, and a small pack of glow-in-the-dark stars. Liam gasped. "Cool." Caleb held up the sketchbook. "Mom, did you get these?" Monica shook her head slowly. "No, sweetie, they're from someone kind." The boys didn't ask more. They opened the markers and got to work, side by side on the floor. Later that night, Monica stood at the doorway, watching them draw. Stars already stuck to the ceiling above their beds. She knew who sent them. She also knew why he didn't sign his name. It wasn't about credit. It was about showing up, even from the edge. Her hand rested on the doorknob, unsure whether to close the room or step further in. Monica sat in the clinic office, form in hand. The nurse closed the door softly. "Just a cheek swab," she said. "It's simple." Liam and Caleb were in the playroom, unaware. Ethan had stepped out for a call. Monica hesitated, then nodded. She had waited years, telling herself it didn't matter, that she didn't need proof. But now, with Ethan here, with the boys asking questions she could no longer answer with half-truths, she needed to know. The nurse handed her 2 envelopes. Monica held them tight, heart racing. Outside, laughter echoed from the hallway. She looked down at the forms. Father. Ethan Cross. She didn't write anything else. No one would know she did this. Not yet. This wasn't about revenge. It was about truth. Quiet, private, and long overdue. Ethan sat in the video call, suit pressed, voice calm. The board waited. This deal matters, one partner said. But your name is the brand. Headlines like this shake trust. Ethan nodded once, then leaned forward. I've made every decision for this company. For growth, for image. Pause. But I won't lose my family to protect a stock price. Silence. I'm stepping back, effective immediately. No one spoke. The feed went quiet. He closed the laptop, removed the mic, took a breath. Outside the window, the ship moved slow across the water. Inside him, something shifted. Not guilt, not pressure, just clarity. Later, Monica saw the headline on her phone. Ethan Cross withdraws from deal to focus on family. She read it twice, then looked up. Liam was showing Caleb how to draw a rocket, and Ethan stood nearby watching them both. Monica waited by the railing, arms crossed. Ethan walked up, hands in his pockets. No smile. She didn't speak at first, then soft, direct, "Why now?" He looked at her, tired, honest. "What do you mean?" She shook her head. "You had years. You knew where I was. You left." "I thought it was over," he said quietly. "You made that decision for both of us." The words hit. She stared at the water, voice low. "You missed birthdays, first steps, their first words." Ethan didn't defend himself. "I know," Monica's voice cracked. "So why now? Because people are watching? Because it's in the news?" "No," he said. "Because they deserve a father, and I'm done running." She held his eyes for a long time, then looked away. Not ready to forgive, but no longer able to ignore. Ethan sat on the bench, eyes on his hands. "There was a letter," he said quietly. "I wrote it 6 months after I left." Monica didn't answer. "I told you everything. That I was sorry, that I made the wrong choice, so..." He paused, swallowed. "I sealed it, addressed it, held it in my hand for the 2 hours." She looked over, still silent. "And then I tore it up. I told myself you'd moved on, that I didn't deserve to come back." He met her eyes. "I thought staying away was the least I could do. That silence was the punishment I owed." Her face didn't soften, but something in her shifted. He added, "I never stopped thinking about you, or what I lost." She looked down. Some pain doesn't fade, but sometimes hearing the truth helps it settle. Monica sat beside him, her arms wrapped around her knees. The silence held, stretched by years they never spoke. Then she whispered, "I hated you." Ethan nodded. "I know," her voice cracked. "Not just for leaving, but for making me believe I wasn't worth staying for." He didn't speak. She wiped her eyes, but the tears kept falling, slow, quiet. He reached into his pocket, handed her a tissue. She didn't take it. Instead, she reached for his hand. Fingers trembling, she rested hers on top of his. They stayed like that. No words. Just skin on skin after 9 years of distance. "I didn't want to cry in front of you," she said. "It's okay," he replied. "You did it alone for too long." She didn't let go, and for the first time the space between them didn't feel cold. The sun was low, shadows stretched across the deck. Ethan sat on the floor helping Caleb fix a bent paper airplane. Liam leaned against his hip down quiet, watching. Monica stood a few feet away, arms crossed. Not tense, just still. Caleb held up the plane, proud. "Daddy, look!" The word dropped like a stone in still water. Ethan froze. Liam looked up too. "Yeah, Daddy, can we fly it later?" Monica didn't move, didn't speak. Ethan met her eyes, waiting. For correction, for silence, for something to take it back. But she said nothing, just breathed, a long, steady breath. The boys kept talking, already planning their next game. Ethan blinked hard, nodded once. "Yeah, later." It wasn't permission, but it wasn't a no. Sometimes healing doesn't come with a door, just a crack of light. The table was small. Just 4 plates, 2 glasses of juice, and a quiet kind of warmth. Liam passed the syrup. Caleb giggled at a lopsided pancake. Ethan poured coffee. Monica added cream. No one said the word family, but it hung there, soft and real. Try mine, Caleb said, offering Ethan a bite. Ethan leaned in, smiled. Looks better than mine. Monica watched, unsure where to place her hands. She folded them in her lap. Then slowly she reached for the butter. Pass me the toast? Ethan nodded. Here. The boys talked over each other. Space, rockets, swimming later. No tension, no questions. Just a moment, simple, whole. Ethan looked at them one by one. No headlines, no cameras, no past. Just breakfast. And for the first time, he didn't feel like a guest. The press release was short. Ethan Cross resigns as CEO effective immediately. No interviews, no statements, just a decision. Weeks later, a small sign hung above a corner shop. Liam and Caleb's Bakery. Monica wiped flour from her hands. Ethan stacked trays by the window. The boys sat at a side table drawing menus with crayons. Do we really get to name the cookies? Liam asked. Ethan grinned. That's the deal. Customers trickled in. Locals, curious? Some recognized him. No one mentioned the past. Monica slid a tray into the oven. Ethan caught her eye. No suits, no silence, just hands that built something together. She nodded once. I'm glad you stayed. He didn't say anything, just kept working. Outside, the street was quiet. Inside, something real was rising. Monica sat alone at the counter after closing. A pen. One sheet of paper. Nothing rehearsed. She wrote slowly. I don't forgive the past. Her hand paused, then kept going. Not the nights I cried alone, not the silence, not the waiting. She folded the page, opened it again. But I forgive myself for holding it too long. She kept writing. I choose now. I choose this morning's laughter. I choose small hands covered in flour. I choose the man who stayed, finally. No signature, no address, just a letter for no one. Or maybe for her. She tucked it into a recipe book, between two old pages, then turned off the light. Some pain doesn't need fixing. It just needs somewhere to rest. Colored paper covered the table. Markers uncapped, glue sticks open. Liam folded a card in half. Caleb added stars in the corner. Ethan cut shapes from yellow paper. Monica helped write the letters. Happy birthday, Liam and Caleb, stretched across the table in crooked handwriting and bold colors. Should we put cupcakes on it? Caleb asked. Ethan smiled. Only if they're chocolate. Laughter filled the room. Monica glanced around, and the mess, the crumbs, the tiny hands. No big party, no cameras. Just 4 people building something that felt whole. She handed Liam a sticker. He pressed it down with care. Ethan reached over, brushing a smudge of ink from Monica's wrist. Their eyes met. No words needed. The banner wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. And this year the boys wouldn't just blow out candles. They'd do it with family. Smoke curled from the edge of the pan. Liam held up the tray, frowning. Dad, I burned it. Ethan walked over, towel in hand. Let me see. The cookie was black on one side, soft in the middle. Liam's eyes dropped. I wanted it to be good. Ethan smiled. It is good. It's yours. He took a bite, chewed, nodded like it was gourmet. Liam laughed, shoulders relaxing. You don't have to eat the whole thing. I will, Ethan said. This one's mine. Across the room, Monica watched them, quiet, soft smile at the edge of her mouth. Caleb ran over, holding a spoon. Can I burn one too? Flour dusted the counter. Butter melted in a bowl. The kitchen was a mess, and no one cared. For once, mistakes weren't failures. They were part of the recipe. The sun dipped low, sky streaked in orange and gold. Ethan sat with Monica on one bench. Liam and Caleb leaned against them, legs swinging. No one talked. Waves moved slow below the railing, a quiet rhythm, a soft kind of peace. Liam pointed. That cloud looks like a dragon. Caleb shook his head. No, a turtle. Ethan smiled, pulled them closer. Monica didn't move away. For a long time they just sat, not fixing the past, not fearing the future, just here. Then the voiceover came, soft, honest. Forgiveness doesn't make us weak, it makes us free. The camera pulled back, 4 figures, one sunset, no perfect ending, just a new beginning. And in that stillness, something whole.